You know that feeling? You're driving, kind of on autopilot, and you suddenly snap back to reality and realize you don't remember the last few miles at all? Or maybe you glanced at your GPS for what felt like a split second, but it was just a little too long. Well, today we're going to dive deep into what's actually happening inside your brain when all the tech in your car is fighting for your attention. I mean, let's be real. Our cars have totally transformed. They're not just engines and wheels anymore. They're basically powerful computers that we happen to sit in, just packed with all sorts of advanced systems, from navigation to these crazy complex displays right on the dashboard. And that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? With all this amazing information right at our fingertips, are we actually getting safer out there on the road? Or is all this technology secretly making things worse? The answer, as you're about to see, is, well, it's complicated. To really get a handle on how tech messes with our driving, we first have to understand the science of attention itself. And it's not some abstract concept. It's a real, measurable, and believe it or not, a very limited resource in your brain. Okay, a fantastic way to picture this is the old spinning plates analogy. Imagine you're a circus performer. You can probably keep a few plates spinning pretty easily. But what happens when you add more and more? One plate is driving, another is navigating, another is a phone call, another is a text alert. Your mental capacity gets stretched thin, and if one of those tasks suddenly needs more focus, you know what happens? A plate is going to come crashing down. So let's get a couple of key terms straight. First up is inattention. Researchers use this as a big, broad term for just not giving enough mental energy to the super important job of driving safely. Think of it as the giant umbrella that covers everything from daydreaming to being tired. Now, distraction is way more specific. It's a certain kind of inattention. It's not just a general lack of focus. It happens when a specific thing, like your phone ringing or a map popping up, actively pulls your focus away from the road. It's a battle for your attention, and way too often, driving is the one that loses. So let's look at the king of all distractions, the one we all deal with, the cell phone. The research here gives us this incredible peek into our brains when we try to talk and drive at the same time. This quote here points to something scientists call inattention blindness. A really famous study found that even when drivers were looking directly at a road sign, they often had zero memory of ever seeing it if they were on the phone. Think about that. Their eyes were on the road, but their brain was completely checked out. Just how bad is it? Well, those same researchers actually measured brain activity. What they found is stunning. A hands-free phone call cut the brain activity tied to processing what you see by 50%. Let that sink in. Half of your brain power for seeing, processing, and reacting to the world outside your car is just gone. But wait a second. You might be thinking, isn't talking on the phone the same as talking to a passenger in the seat next to you? No, not even close. A passenger is like your co-pilot. They can see the traffic, they know when you need to focus, and they'll naturally shut up for a second. The person on the other end of the phone, they're a phantom passenger, totally blind to your situation, demanding your attention no matter what's happening on the road ahead. It's not just our phones, though. The very way our car's dashboard is designed can either be a huge help or a really dangerous distraction. The big showdown here is between two kinds of screens. You've got your head-down displays, or HDDs. That's the typical screen in the center console that makes you look down and away from the road. And then you have head-up displays, or HUDs, which project key info right onto the windshield, in your line of sight. And the difference this makes is just massive. One study found that when something urgent happened, drivers using a head-up display reacted almost a full second faster than drivers using a regular head-down display. A full second. In driving, a second isn't just a tick of the clock, it's distance. At highway speeds, that can literally be the difference between a safe stop and a catastrophe. Okay, so the picture seems pretty clear, right? Tech distracts us, total focus is good. But here's a twist that might actually surprise you. Because sometimes, a tiny bit of the right kind of distraction can actually be a good thing. So let me ask you this. Is just staring blankly at a long, straight, boring highway for an hour really the safest way to drive? The research suggests maybe not. So get this, a study found something pretty wild. On long, boring drives, the people who were told to just focus on driving with no other task actually swerved more inside their lane. They were less stable than the people who were just passively listening to the radio. How crazy is that? So why would that happen? The villain here is an internal distraction called mind wandering. When your brain gets bored by a monotonous task, it starts looking for something else to do. It drifts off, thinking about dinner or that email you forgot to send, and it totally decouples you from what's happening on the road. A simple task, like listening to music, can act like an anchor, keeping your brain just engaged enough to prevent it from wandering off into the weeds.
So, what on earth does all this mean for us, the people actually driving these computers on wheels? Well, it completely reframes what our main job is when we get behind the wheel. The big takeaway here isn't that technology is bad and we should all go back to basic cars. Not at all. It's that we have to start seeing ourselves as active managers of our own attention. That's our real job now. It's to understand that every task has a cognitive price tag, and we have to decide moment by moment what's worth paying for with our focus. And there are long-term costs we have to think about too. This study found that people who always relied on their GPS actually showed a faster decline in the part of their brain that builds mental maps. We're essentially outsourcing a core human skill, and if we don't use it, we risk losing it. So, the next time you hop in the car and all those screens light up, just ask yourself this. Is this piece of technology working for me, the attention manager? Is it giving me what I need when I need it? Or is it just another spinning plate getting ready to come crashing down?